we're going to review the answers that we have from yesterday's quiz. All right, let's look at what happened. Let's look over the answers that we have. All right. So let's review a little bit. Rational numbers are these numbers over here, correct? Those are the rational numbers. The integers are here and whole numbers are there. So before I start, what do you think, or what can you say about this? Can you describe rational numbers? Who can tell me just one idea that you saw in this slide about rational numbers, about everything that's in here, rational numbers, integers, or whole numbers? Can anybody give me one idea that you could say based on this picture? I'll give you a minute to think. All right, so Liana, can you tell me one uh basic idea that you see in this chart?
Rational, rational, right?
Yes, rational numbers.
Rational numbers are numbers that are decimals and fractions.
It could be decimals, it could be fractions. Very nice. Matthew, what can you say? Give me one idea. Come on, guys. Think of an idea. Think of what can you say about rational numbers, integers, and whole numbers. Abby, you guys gotta be quiet this marking period. We really have to talk. We encourage everyone to talk.
Miss Angora, Abby wrote it in the chat.
I know, I saw. So Abby said all the integers in photos are negative. All the integers are in photos are negative. That's nice. All right. So anyone else would like to ask what have you observed? Angel? Angel?
What?
Can you tell one thing about the poster or this slide uh, based on what rational numbers is, integers, whole number? Go ahead, Angel.
Um, like most of them, all of them are like not just regular numbers. They're all either fractions and negative numbers.
That is a good observation. So one more observation, Sean. What observation have you made? Like, what can you say about this group of numbers? Sean?
There are only a few like positive numbers.
All right.
Did I notice?
Okay. So if
And
you are
there's mostly negative.
that's that's true too. If you are going to review rational numbers and integers and whole numbers, it looks like rational numbers include integers and whole numbers, not just a negative one. If you see, rational numbers could be all these numbers. Integers, on the other hand, are just this whole number and those whole number. And a whole number is a positive number and also zero. All right, but if you put them all together, this and that, those are integers, and if you put all of this, those are rational numbers. So those are the examples actually. All right, moving along. So it's a lesson one. We're just gonna go back a little bit what we understand. So here I want you to work on this. What integer value does this point represent? Write your answer in the box.
Is that Jeopardy music?
Yeah, because on the other side, on the other table, the other end of the room, Nikki is has her class too. So we're in the same room, but on the other end, and they're playing Jeopardy. All right, so let's look at your answers. Did everybody answer this already? Let me see. I couldn't see it. 2 out of 9. Come on, guys. I'll give you 30 seconds. All right, let's see what our answers are. Only 5. Come on. 4 more. Let's go. I really want everyone to answer this. All right, 7 of 9. Let me see. So let me read again. What integer value does this point D represent? Before I move forward, can I have Liana tell us the answer?
4.
How did you know?
Because point D is like on the right side, so it has to be a positive number. And the point D is right behind 5, so it has to be 4.
Okay, we'll take that answer. How about Nina? How did you know? What is your answer? How did you know that that is the answer?
I knew that was the answer because it was on the right, so it's a positive number, and it was 4 spaces. It was 4 lines to the right from 0.
Okay, because it was 4 lines from 0. That's a good observation. Matthew, one last explanation. How did we figure out that's 4? Matthew? I'll go back to Matthew later. Michael?
I figured out it was 4 because it's to the right of the 0, which is mostly positive, and because it's right behind 5, so it must be 4 and not negative.
Sorry, Miss Angora, can I also add something?
Yes, please.
Because the question, and also because the question did not ask for the opposite.
Exactly. Just like, what does it represent? So, and it's broken into 4 sections. I mean 5 sections for this one. So it's, you're gonna say from 5, you count back, and it's 4. Okay, that's a very easy question, correct? Everybody got that correct? I mean, in the test. So let's answer this. Write the opposite of each integer. I don't know if you could move those. If not, just put an arrow. Let's see if you could move. Just put an arrow then. I'll give you 30 seconds again. I mean, yeah, 30 seconds. Going to see what the answers that you guys have. There are 8. But before I move to the answer, I'll start with Daniel. What is the opposite of letter A, which is 4?
The opposite is -4.
That's a -4. That's correct. Let's go, Charlie. What's the opposite of -5? Michael? What's the opposite of -5, Michael?
5.
5. And what's the opposite of -2, Charlie? Charlie, what's the opposite of -2?
He said 2 in the chat.
Oh, he said 2 in the chat. I really want to hear you guys. What's the opposite of -7?
-7.
Why is it -7?
Because there's 2 minus.
What does it mean if it has 2 minus?
It's like going back to 7 and then coming back to -7.
Wait a minute. What did you say? So what did you say again? Can you clarify that for us? Because like for number 7, it says negative parenthesis -7. Can you say that one more time? How did you figure out it's -7?
Because since he has 2 minuses, It's like you have to do the same thing two times.
Liana, would you like to add something about that?
Uh, like the negative 7 inside the parentheses equals to 7, but because there's another minus sign on the like on the outside of the parentheses, the 7 equals negative 7.
Can I know how I did it?
Yes, Daniel, go ahead. I love that.
So I knew that -7, which is 2 negatives, and I know that 2 negatives equals a positive, so it has to be +7.
I agree with you with that. But why is it in Savas they tell us that -7 is the answer? What does it represent this -7 for? If you look at this is -2, right? And that's -5, and the opposite is exactly the same. So we Savas explained that this -7 is just like an item or an expression inside, which is negative, a negative of that expression, correct? So what is the opposite of that expression? So if this is a negative expression, then it represents a positive expression. I think that what Sabas is telling us about, like why the answer is -7. But you were correct when you also said that -7, if we take that parenthesis as a multiplication sign, it will give us a 7 as an answer. But if we take -7 as expression, so this is negative expression will result a positive of the expression. It doesn't matter if the expression is negative or positive. Did you get that? It's just a position. It's not because we're doing the rules of multiplication. Am I clear? I don't want you to be confused in the future. Daniel, do you agree for now?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get more of that, okay? So there you go. So I recorded that little conversation we got because I'm going to like share it with other teachers in the team, what you guys see about it and what Savas said about it. So let's go to the next question, guys. But I love that. Okay. So if it's in a test, this I don't you don't need to change this. I like it like that. The way you answered before, because mathematically that is the one that is supposed to be the answer. But based on the integer position of a term or expression, that will be considered as the answer. All right. A little bit of thinking. Sometimes they tell us something that we never know. But that's something new to learn today. All right, this question. Megan has her own business. When she makes money, it is called income. And when she spends the money, it is called expenses. What would you use? Or would you use a positive or negative integers to represent income, expenses? Explain. I'll give you a minute. All right. So who would like to share on this one? Which one represents a negative, and which one um would you use a positive and negative? Liana, go ahead.
Income is a positive number and expensive is a negative number.
Expenses is negative. Anyone would like to react what Liana said? So you guys put a negative, so much positive over there. That's a very good sign that you have. So negatives over there, positives over there. So make sure you answer. So income is a positive point, and the expenses is the negative point in your point of view. All right. So but that is correct. When income is coming to you, a money that comes to you is plus to you. But when you go to the grocery store or buy anything, so that's a negative sign, taking away money from us, which is not good, right? All right, that was a very good answer. All right, so let's go to the next slide. So here we go. Samantha plots the following points and thinks that since -7 is greater than -5, it will go to the right of -5. Do you agree or disagree with Samantha? Explain if you disagree and plot -7 where you think it should be. Right? Are you guys? I give you 2 minutes for this. A little bit more work. So again, I'm gonna read to you. Samantha plots the following points and thinks, since -7 is greater than -5, it will go to the right of -5. Do you agree? Explain your agreement with her. Then plot -7 where you think it should go. Who'd like to explain first before I show the answer? Leanna would like to start?
I disagree because when the number is a negative number, the greater number, the less the value. So -7 would be two units to the left of -5.
That is correct.
Can I add on to my answer?
Yes, definitely.
So I disagree because -5 is greater than -7 because it's closer to the -5 is closer to the 0, which means it's a bit greater. And for negative, it's bigger the number, less the value. No, wait. It was
Yeah. The bigger the
yeah,
number
okay.
that on the
And
left.
basically, negative works opposite of positive. So
So you disagree.
yeah.
How about this one? Who's this one? Whose answer is this? Can you explain? Would like to share again? One more share. Nina would like to share? Nina. Daniel. One last share for this slide.
This is what I wrote. I disagree because if you count to the yielding, which you get -3, and so that is left of -5.
So this is what you saw. All right. So would you like to plot the points where it is? It says plot -7 where you think it should go. So plot that and then we'll go over to the other questions, okay? So you guys gonna be great in this. All right, you're plotting it. Very nice. Thank you for that. That's very good update for you. Like so quick update. All right, let's go to the next question. So the table uses a negative integers to represent the lowest elevation below sea level on each of the 7 continents. Which continents have a lower elevation than North America? So you could write anywhere in the slides to find the answer, and here is the line where you graph them. Let's see how you're gonna go the graph. So which continents have a lower elevation than North America? So you could plot this first. You don't need to put you don't need to put the whole term.
Do we have to plot it?
You can plot to help you, but you don't need to. You could just arrange the numbers. Up to you what strategy you would like to use for you to know which continents have a lower elevation than North America. All right, I'll give you a minute. All right, here we go. So you could just mark check for that one. Let me look at your responses. So you circle the lower ones. Okay. The other one was so obvious, right? All right, I saw your answers, guys. Were so good, but I would like to hear someone. Which which continents have a lower elevation than North America? Go ahead. Who haven't shared yet? Abby? All right, Angel, you first. Go ahead.
So the continents that are lower than North America are Africa, Antarctica, and Asia. Cause the larger the negative numbers get, it's like more farther away than 0.
More wait.
So
0 represents what in this case? 0 represents the. How do we call 0 in this concept?
Sea level?
Very nice. We call it sea level. Anybody else would like to add on to what Angel said? Are we good to go? You understand? Yeah? Liana, do you agree with Angel?
Yeah, I do.
All right, then. So it looks like everyone with a thumbs up means agree with what he said, which actually he explained it very well. All right. So look at this slide. All right. So the sea level is here. That's what like Angel and Liana said, and it represents what number? What is
Sea level?
sea level represents what integer?
0.
0. So here are the name of those places. Dream Lake is 9,905 feet, and if you notice there's no positive number there, so it means that's a positive if there's no sign. And New Orleans are right here, -3 feet, so that's why it's negative. Okay, just a concept of idea podcast. So here, I don't know if we were able to complete before the time, but I want you to try this one. This was the quiz number 2. Explain how you found your answer for this one. A minute again. All right, we continue. Who could try to explain? This will be the last one that we're gonna be working on, and we'll continue again next
can I
time.
explain it?
Yes, Michael, I love that. Go ahead.
Alright, so I think it's -2 1/3 because there are only 3 lines in between -3 and -2, which means that there's only like 3 fractions. So and that means it's thirds.
So what's your final answer again?
-2 1/3.
-2 and 1/3. Sean, next.
I disagree with Michael because when there's 3 lines, there's actually 4 boxes. Because if you count, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So then when you do 1 divided by 4, you get an answer of 25. So then my answer is 2.25.
Anybody would like to agree and disagree with what Sean said? It was a good point.
I agree with Sean, but when I wrote with the fraction, I wrote -2 and 1/2. I mean, 1/4. Sorry.
Michael, how do you react to this?
I mean, I was thinking that each whole number doesn't count as a fraction because it's negative whole. So I thought it was just 3.
I think what I know, you guys are making an error in counting, not because you don't know the fractions or the numbers. But if you look ahead, how do you count? Let's say you're standing in your position, and then I ask you to run 5 steps. Do you count 1 on where you stand, or you count 1 when you move 1 step?
1 when you move a step.
When you move.
That's a very good observation. So it means we do the same here. So from here, if we count, we don't count 0 from here. We count we don't count 1 as here. We count 0 where your starting point is, because it means there's no distance. Then you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So even though this was cut into 3 lines, it's still gonna be, you count 1, 2, 3, and 4. Did you get that, Mike? Even though there are like 3 lines here, you count, your last count will end where your -3 is. Are we clear? Michael?
Yeah.
All right then, very good. So our answer is -2 and 1/4, not 1/3, because we cut them actually into fours. All right, we learned something new, and we'll always learn something nice every day. that we're gonna be ready for some tests in the future. Like this is why you're in school. You learn something, you recall something, you review something. We only have like few minutes left, and I put a homework assignment that you guys gonna go to iReady to do at least 20 minutes today. It's very important to make a progress in iReady because that's where our school gonna see if we did some progress. Okay, so today you're gonna be working 20 minutes in iReady at least. So we start it now for the next the rest of the period. That will be like 5 minutes, unless you have like 15 minutes left later on to work on. All right. All right, so I'll say goodbye to this presentation we got, and you guys gonna go to your iReady. Okay.